We're going to take a look at the Netgear Nighthawk X4S router next on Geekazine. 200 gigabytes. That's what you're going to use for your Netflix. Data usage estimates for those who watch 13 hours of TV per week in HD. If you have Ultra HD, otherwise known as 4K, that number will more than double. Add to that internet security cameras, Internet of Things devices like lights and thermostats, and not only do you have to worry about how much bandwidth you have, but if your home router can actually handle all that information. The Netgear Nighthawk X4S is a wireless router that can keep up with the ever-growing mobile devices around your house. Gaming and video are the two big reasons to get this device. Pair two together and you have full coverage of almost any home. Let's start with the specs and then go over all the pros and cons. The Nighthawk X4S router is a dual-band quad-stream gigabit router. Using mu-mimo technology, the device can stream at 160 megahertz to all your mobile devices. Inside the device is a 1.7 gigahertz dual-core processor with 512 megabytes of RAM and 128 megabytes of flash memory. Using the dynamic quality of service, which is an algorithm that Netgear uses, it determines which device needs the most attention. You can transfer speeds up to 2.53 gigabits per second through your devices. This is a multi-band router, so you can set a 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz wireless, and then adjust device speeds. Older tablets and phones and other devices might only run 2.4 gigahertz, so having both of these wireless options on is important. Inside is ReadyCloud, which is a service that can keep your important files on your network area storage, or NAS. OpenVPN allows you to connect to all of your home computers. You can even use the Quilt app to store your photos at home and view them whenever you need to on any mobile device. On the router itself, it has 5 Ethernet ports, 5 gigabit Ethernet ports, one that connects to your WAN or your modem, and then the other 4 which will connect to computers or other devices. On the side we have 2 USB 3.0 ports, and on the other side we have an eSATA port solution to connect to any type of storage solution. I connect the eSATA port to my Drobo so I can have backup over a network or wireless system. The software the Netgear uses is called the Genie app, which you can install on most devices and can control your router, giving you multiple options. You can check out your traffic on the router, you can set up a VPN service, or bridge the 2 Nighthawk X4Ss together so you don't have to run Ethernet cables around the house. I can also set up AirPrint services to my printers, OneNote, Adobe PDF, and fax, so I can print from any device. But the real question is this router worth the $250 price tag? When we come back, I'll take a look at all the pros and cons. Now, the biggest issue I have with the Netgear Nighthawk X4S router is the Genie interface itself. There's a lot in there, and it's a little bit confusing to navigate through. For example, the network map shows what's connected, but I had a hard time at the beginning knowing what the device was. I actually had to go in and identify each device so I knew what it was and if it was using the 2.4 or 5 gigahertz wireless. Otherwise, this router is everything you need for data transfer. I have the bridged unit in my living room running the Xbox One, the Apple TV, the Amazon Fire TV, and other media streaming devices. But here's the coolest part about this router. That's that 160 megahertz function. What this means is your family can watch Netflix, Hulu, play the Xbox, and more without getting limited by the router. Older devices might run up to 80 megahertz, which can cause a bottleneck because it can only stream up to 433 megabytes worth of data. The X4S will double that, which means a 4-person household doesn't see buffering because it's waiting for the router to catch up. And since this is an 802.11 AC router, it can cover a large 2-story house pretty well, around 230 feet in circumference. In bridge mode, you can double that. In fact, I walked around my block. I could go 5 houses down before I lost my signal. I could go across the street and down to the edge of my yard without problems. I set up the Bridge X4S to my media devices in the living room. I continue to use these devices wirelessly without interruption. I also like the switch on the back here because it can actually turn off all the LED lights. That way it doesn't look like a light show in the middle of the night. If you have this in the living room watching a movie, that's the last thing you need. For the $250 price tag, the Nighthawk X4S router is perfect for gamers and family needs alike. The real question is, what do you have in your home controlling your wireless internet? Do you use the Netgear Nighthawk X4S? Let me know what you think about it by tweeting me over at Geekazine or email me over at geekazine@gmail.com. Jeffrey Powers here. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you next time, and until then, you guys geek out at 160 megahertz.